Nick, there is something afoot at AsArt.
Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week, so hit that subscribe button to stay updated and visit asart.space for all of our content. John, isn't this crazy that Sean Penn, Brendan Fraser, and like other 80 actors were thought to be to be casted in this film? Isn't that crazy?
So you do have to remember, I mean, it's infamous on the internet that you get all kinds of people's names listed for all kinds of roles. Like, I'm surprised Arnold Schwarzenegger is not on this list, because it seems like Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposedly under consideration for every single role in the 80s and 90s. But especially Sean Penn, he seems like he would very much fit that role. And Brendan Fraser for Keanu Reeves, like, I could actually see them. It would be a completely different movie, but I could totally see it.
And they wanted Eddie Van Halen for Rufus. Come on, how cool would that have been?
Which is hilarious, because they keep referencing Van Halen throughout the whole thing. He's like, we need to get Van Halen for our band. But those type of things are something we want to incorporate more into the show, because it's fun to know those little facts. So, Nick, you had told me about the budget the movie had as well, which was kind of fascinating to think about.
So the budget was $6 million. It was budgeted for between $6 to $8 million, and it made $40 million. Come on.
And do you know that, and maybe this is more of a big issue today, maybe than back then, but do you know, was the whole movie and the marketing budgeted 6 to 8, or was just the movie budgeted at 6?
That's all.
That's a big thing. I didn't know how much go into marketing campaigns until I really, looked it up. In recent years, it's gotten way more. But
and it was filmed in Arizona.
Definitely saved some money.
You would think they would film it in California, because so much is filmed in California. Like, even if they went to like Temecula or like some other places out of like LA kind of area, but it was just so interesting that they filmed in Arizona. Maybe it was for budget, or, who knows?
Well, I know that now to shoot anything in California is extremely, extremely expensive. And of course, that's why a lot of the industry shoots films outside of the country, or go to other states. Yeah, Atlanta's a big place. And even game companies too. And the whole visual effects industry is basically relocated to Canada, to Vancouver is the big location now. So, but it's fascinating that even back then they thought to shoot in Arizona. Maybe it was for locations, but the first one...
Well, San Dimas could kind of play off as Arizona for sure.
But the first film was there's such a big difference between the first film and the second film. We're going to do a separate video on the second film, but they jump around so much in the second film. You just get little bits and pieces of everything.
Yeah, so some of that was filmed, I think, like the castle scene was filmed in somewhere in Europe. Yeah, they actually went Italy. It was actually filmed in Italy, the castle.
So they actually went on location for that.
But I think everything else, like the ghost town, could have easily been filmed in Arizona. That probably was like a ghost town.
Hey Bill, this is just like Frontierland. Yeah, but you can get shot here, Ted.
Settings that they found or something. At first I'm like, is this the bar from Westworld?
He didn't even card us, dude. Yeah, we have to remember this place.
I'm like, nope.
Check it again, huh? So this is before, this is Keanu Reeves' kind of first role. This is before Speed. This is obviously way before The Matrix.
I think this was his first role.
Excellent!
Which is crazy to think that they're going back and doing so many years later, they're doing a third Bill and Ted. I'm curious. Keanu Reeves seems like such a cool guy. One of the kind of best liked people in Hollywood circles as far as,
very loved.
I'm curious if he's just doing it for a relatively low amount of money versus what he, usually
He's
warrants.
Probably a producer on it.
Oh, that's true. That could be the case. But I remember when I saw the first trailer, like it was just he and the other guy just standing in a stadium just saying, we're doing another movie. And like, it wasn't high budget or anything. And I kind of, Alex, I just like that idea that they're just like, okay, going back to it. It's going to be very interesting. So we're on the first film right now. I'm already getting excited and getting sidetracked. So Nick, when did you first see Bill and Ted, and like, what are your early memories of it? Because I saw it way later down there. I saw it like 2 years ago for the first time. So.
Bill and Ted, I was pretty young. So my favorite movie of all time is Wayne's World. Like when I was in high school and stuff. Wayne's World was my favorite movie of all time. I don't know if you know that, John. You probably know that.
I might know. But so when Nick had my class in college, you had to replace yourself with an actor and one shot from a movie. Instead, he's like, John, we're going to do the whole scene in the Murph-mobile. I'm going to be Wayne. I'm like, oh, it's cool. Awesome. Like, who's going to be Garth? He's like, you are. I'm like, what? I don't have long hair or glasses or the shirt. He's like, I've got it all.
So I was really into like rock movies, like Almost Famous, Detroit Rock City,
Yes.
Dazed and Confused. Like, I love those movies. Of course I watch Bill and Ted. You know what I mean? It's just like part of, like, you have to. It's so, I mean, Van Halen, the music, they're going to be the greatest rock band, of the world kind of thing. It's just
one
like,
of my favorite lines, and you have to be a metalhead or just like a metal nerd to appreciate. They're like, put them in the Iron Maiden. They're like, all right.
Yeah. All
Never
right.
mind, execute
Yeah,
them.
that was so
All
good.
right. Yeah.
Iron Maiden is so awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that in the second one for sure, because they go to hell and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So John, how did you think this movie held up? It aired in 1989. That was a year before I was born. I was born in 88. So like, what did you think?
Well, what was impressive to me is that if you look back, and obviously it screams, 80s and 90s, but at the same time, if you look back, they had the characters completely established by the very first shot of the film. And obviously you don't shoot a movie in order, but basically what I'm saying is it didn't take them a movie and a half to really nail down their characters. Like, they were Bill and Ted from the get-go, which is hilarious because I can't really think of other characters that are like that in a film, like, kind of this particular way where they just, I don't know. Can you think of anything similar to Bill and Ted?
Wayne's World. Right away, he's like, oh, all right, they take you through.
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
But
Yeah,
I think all those rock movies that you kind of already know who the characters are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's just kind of like you already know the stereotypes, what they want to do. Well, at least I did. So it's like a very easy, that character kind of thing. But I loved it. Like, they're filming each other and stuff like that. Ted Esquire or whatever. Like,
wait.
Wild Stallions.
So another thing I thought was really fun about this is the effects. And Nick and I had talked about this just a little bit, because the effects are actually pretty high end in the first one and the second one, especially if you consider it's a $6 million budget. I actually thought the effects, because I was thinking of, and I think Nick was as well, what was the first movie that came to mind for you?
Ghostbusters.
The first movie that came to mind for me was Back to the Future. And the two
Mm-hmm.
studios that did, did Industrial Light and Magic didn't do all the effects for Ghostbusters. It was an offshoot of ILM alumni, that had worked there that kind of did that. It was Richard Edlin is the gentleman's name. He started his own studio. But
Perpetual
basically
Motion
ILM people
did this one.
But so for this a studio called Perpetual Motion, which honestly I don't know much about, I have to have a hunch that they're ILM people, because it looked so much like the type of stuff they would do, and it was high end stuff too. So for $6 million to do all that, I guess they got unknown actors at the time. All right.
Oh man, poor artist.
So it definitely kicked into high gear once they started traveling, because for a while just establishing the characters.
There's some weird cuts though. Isn't there some weird
stuff,
awkward cuts? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know, super awkward, but I just felt like it jumped so quick between scenarios of when they were jumping in time, which is kind of cool because you don't get bored. They don't linger too long, but at the same time, you don't get much chance to kind of establish where they are in the world they're living in. But it was hilarious. So you asked if I thought it held up. Honestly, I think it held up pretty darn well, because it's not meaning to be a timeless movie. It's meant to be in that era at that point in time, which I think makes it, when movies try and make themselves timeless, it's always cool if they hold up. Sometimes they don't. Whereas if this is like a period piece when they were shooting it, like they weren't trying to make it look like it was the 50s. This is now, and this is going to be the past, but this is right now, which I thought was pretty cool.
I thought it was kind of weird the way women were sexualized in this film. It was felt a little awkward at times, especially with like the girl that was in their grade, then the dad, and then like when he kicks him out of their room and he like gives the face, like what is going on?
Yeah. There's definitely a different portrayal. So my wife had never seen Rocky. Kate had never seen Rocky. And we watched Rocky. I go, so what do you think? She goes, well, I want them to take back that Academy Award from 1976 to start off. And second of all, she's like, man, they really portray women in a particular way here. And they it's funny, just in the last number of years, it's really changed. Yeah. But
I mean, even like the whole princesses, and they're rewarded for like saving time with women. Like he literally brings them women for their, I was like, wait, what is going on here? It's just like, hold on.
It's a different time, bro. It's a different time, Nick.
But like, it sucks though for women. Like, think about it. Like, men had like different idols to look up to or whatever, but like in the Rock movies, yes, we have Princess Leia and we have like Alien. You know, we have some really cool kick-ass female characters.
I thought you were
like,
trying to say Princess Leia was a Rock movie. I was like,
no,
what?
no. But I'm just okay.
What,
Okay,
Bill?
like in Rock films, the way women are like idolized as only having to be beautiful or like won over by the rock stars. It's just like, oh my gosh, like it's just so funny because I haven't seen this movie in such a long time. And then even when I think back to like Wayne's World, like she's a babe, swing, you know, and he's like, whoa, hold on, like, like I get like it's the time period and when they made it, but it's just like, wow, some of these things are just like
It's changed so much. It wasn't even really awkward for me as much as it was just fascinating to see how much time. I feel like I'm talking like them because we watched 2 movies in a row. I feel like I'm talking much more like them, but it's suitable. Something is afoot at Circle K.
What is it like? Your mom's a babe.
Your mom's really cute. Shut up, Ted.
Like so many scenes too where they had her like bend over on purpose so they can look down her shirt too. It's just like, oh my gosh. Anyways, on that note, what would you rate this movie, John?
For nostalgia, for current times,
just whatever you want. Like for holding up, like overall.
I think it was super fun. I'd say a 7.5.
I mean, think about it. Like think about how low the budget was, and you know, and how you know. Oh, the production designer worked on the Holy Grail. I forgot to bring that up to you, John.
I fart in your general direction.
That's like your favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
so
man.
like, think about like, I wonder, did they just bring them on just for the castle scenes or something like that? Because I wish they had a getaway scene like they did in the Holy Grail. Remember when the guy's like running and it loops and he just comes in and he like kills everyone in the castle?
It's funny to have those trivia things. We're going to try and incorporate that in the show more because that's hilarious. The guy that's production designer on Monty Python and the Holy Grail was on Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
So awesome. What about you? What would you rate it?
I'll give it a good 4 out of 5 for just fun classic.
Nick has to change the scale. We're doing a scale of 10, sir.
Oh, 10? So
yeah.
10 would be 7, right? Yeah, it would be like 7.
Yeah, okay. 7. All right. I had 7.5.
7?
Yeah, 7.5.
Watch it. It'll be an excellent time.
It is a fun adventure. And it's cool to compare the first one, which was only a 2-year gap in between the second one.
Yeah, because the second one came out in 91. Yeah.
It's very, very different. Very, very different. So really fun stuff. So you guys, we're checking out these films because coming up very soon in our time period, maybe not when you watch it, you'll be in the future, but in our time period, the 3rd Bill and Ted is coming out. So anyway, so we wanted to rewatch this.
And we also have a deep fake too.
Ooh, yeah. Deep fake is close to release.
Yes.
For Bill and Ted.
Subscribe so you stay updated to all the good stuff. Excellent.
Why they have peace for good stuff? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, you guys. Check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links. We'll see you on a bogus journey. Whoa.